Last night, somewhere in the quarantine corner of my dreams, I met a little boy. And he came to me in ragged clothes, a swollen belly, and calloused hands carrying burdens that are far too heavy. And with the sun beating down upon him, just as the sun was beat down upon, he stands there, barefoot, bearing signs of weakness as every gust of wind chills away at his malnourished body as if God were trying to sculpt the perfect prototype of an impoverished child. On naked feet, they saunter the frenzied street corners, inhaling dust from the unpaved roads and exhaling the words, "Please, sir, can you help me? I need money for my HIV treatment." But how am I supposed to believe him? The guidebook says you shouldn't give them money, but how many times can you repeatedly ignore the hungry murmurs of an impoverished child? Treating him like you were wearing Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, but this isn't fiction, y'all. This is for real. I turn the corner from my quiet alleyway onto the main street. Surrounded by the vibrant colors exuding from hand-woven fabrics and noisy honks of yellow land boats mazing through a traffic free-for-all, I see him. He can smell a foreigner from a mile away. With rusted tomato cans clanking on their bony hips, they approach me. On my iPod, the Fresh Prince is singing about summertime, but me, I've never felt colder as I try to ignore this young boy's fingers tiptoe up my shoulder, and at this point I can barely breathe. I'm being lynched by guilt because I'm cursing the cold stone with which my heart must have been built. Tell me, how can I look into the mirror and be proud of the man I see? And I can barely look into the eyes of a child who merely wants help from me. So I punch the mirror in anger, thinking of the nothing that he has, and now I can't tell the difference between my tears and the shattered glass as they crash to the floor, exploding like bombs dropping on Pearl Harbor, and these kamikaze thoughts just keep on coming at me harder, and they're aiming at my heart but missing, crash landing on my mind. Metaphorically meaning this is something that I think of all the time because I don't know how many more times I can walk past him and pretend like he's not there. So the next morning I decide to talk to him. Because I know that to find inner peace, I can't just give him a piece of change, but I have to piece together his story so that I can understand. Born within a village that is yet to be tainted by the West, he was given away by his mother before he was even old enough to utter her name, and he says when he can't remember what her face looks like, he's left overwhelmed with shame because he couldn't understand why his mother didn't want to hold him in her arms, but instead sent him to a place where taxi cabs outnumber the stars. And I tried to explain she was probably just trying to make sure that he was fed when she could barely make enough money to even buy him a piece of bread. And I've been bred throughout my life to always give back to those with less, but how can I give to one of them and then not give to the rest? But what choice do I have when I only have so much to give? So I walk away praying my disregarding he'll forgive, but I just don't have anything right now. Then my alarm clock rings and I wake up. I try to press snooze so that I can go back and find this little boy, but now he's gone. So I walk over to my TV and turn on CNN and try to CNN in sight, but instead, I feel helpless. But instead of looking beyond this, I try to be honest with myself and ask if I'm doing all I can to help. So I make a donation to Red Cross and cross my heart praying that it reaches some child who needs it because I feel guilty having grown up so unappreciative of the incredible things I've had. Even as I sit here writing this poem at my 8:30 a.m. class, I know that if he were in my shoes, he'd be paying attention. But I want him to know that I am paying attention to him and that I can't help the life I've been given, but I want him to know I'll spend it living trying to make his better. So I close my eyes, fall back into that quarantine corner of my dreams, give him a piece of change, and continue on my way, praying that one day I can bring real change to him.